Hello, my name is David Manbeck. I'm the Director of Business Development with Synergy HomeCare East Valley.
Hello, I'm Linda Morales, Senior Director of Synergy HomeCare of the East Valley.
And I'm Mike Endredy, President of Synergy HomeCare of the East Valley. And welcome to Synergy HomeCare. David, you were at a home assessment today visiting a family. Can you share a little bit about that experience today that you had with the family?
Absolutely, happy to. So it was one of the routine home assessments that we do. The nice thing is that the family was being really proactive and allowing us to come in and educate everyone as a group. So I had all 6 siblings there, mom and dad, and basically was able to map out, answer all their questions, and help them understand what do we do, how do we get things implemented, and what's best for them to allow us into their home to provide care for their mom.
That's great. You know, when I was doing home assessments too, and when I go into homes and do these assessments, I find a lot of times families are a little unprepared. So it sounds like having all the siblings there was a great relief because at least everybody's on the same page.
Absolutely. It really sets them up for success. I feel really confident for this family to get the best benefits out of our assistance of their care for their mom. They're all very passionate about mom's care. They're very concerned for their father. The main goal is to take care of both of them and allow them to age in place. And I think we really accomplished that this morning with that meeting because now they have peace of mind that dad's going to be having the support he needs, inadvertently caring for mom.
And that happens a lot of times we see when we chat with families and we go into family homes, right? Mm-hmm. Families are all over the United States. They're spread out across the valley. They're spread out across the United States. Having them all there and having them aware of what's going on and how this care is going to start can ultimately set up for, like you said, the best success. Because it's when they're not on the same page is when the confusion lies in and sibling, child, brother, sister out in Minnesota or wherever starts asking questions because they weren't there at the right time at the right place. So that was great that the family was there. That's when we find that it works out best.
Absolutely, without a doubt. The nice thing is I was able to map out the key point people of responsibility.
That's great.
So all the 6 siblings, we won't have 6 bosses, which is always the struggle for us.
That's great.
So we got the key point person for us to communicate with. They're going to disseminate all the information to the siblings, and we have a very clear picture. We already started working on a customized care plan for them, and they're really excited about the potential of how it's going to impact the family.
Yeah, and the care plan is another big one too, because Linda, when we bring a case into the operations area, that care plan being really detailed and all the family members being on the same page really also spells out for a ton of success, because the care plan spells out what they need, but also helps us internally, right? Determine who is the best caregiver to provide that care.
Yeah, that's really important when you're talking to the family, but it also helps identify the change that the person will need. So what David or myself or you go in and see might change. Mm-hmm. So when we go in and we develop the care plan, it's usually for what we need today. But then as that person's needs change, that care plan changes.
Certainly.
So like what David's saying, with the family being there, I think it's great. But also when we have family that's out of state, they can join via phone. And that also helps with the peace of mind and a copy of that care plan to the family. I found that is very, very helpful to make anybody who's part of the care of mom or dad or their loved one, just put their mind at ease that, hey, I know what's going on even though I'm not physically there.
And they're all on the same page.
Right.
They're not asking mom about A, B, and C, and the other one asking about
where the 6 bosses come in, right?
Yeah, asking different questions.
Yeah.
That's also very helpful.
Absolutely.
So how did the family decide who's going to be, the bosses, right? How did the family decide? Are they all local? Are they all not local?
No. There's only out of the 6, there's only 2 that are actually local.
Okay.
So basically, the eldest daughter just stood up and volunteered herself, which was not surprising, but kind of funny. But she's also local. She's very involved, and the rest of the siblings were quite comfortable with that. The nice thing is they do use a lot of technology to communicate and stay abreast what's going on with mom and dad. So they're very involved, which is phenomenal. I share with them of how we can be a part of that as well. If need be, happy to share the information with them and give them updates, whatever is best for them. Mm-hmm. And map out basically, like you were saying, how we know things are going to change without a doubt. Mm-hmm. This is a matter of not if, but more of when. And I've kind of already started some of those conversations about needing additional services or changing our hours to fit their needs. Mm-hmm. So we're not just cookie cutting our care plan and our services. We're actually adapting to mom's situation to provide the care she needs.
That happens a lot too, as we're talking to families, as conditions do change. They rely on us, since we are the first ones in. They rely on us to send a referral out to another provider that might be able to help with physical therapy, or a nurse to come in, or anybody else, any other type of provider. So it is good that we are clearly documenting what happens with changes of conditions, because we have the most experience in there with the family, and we can speak to that when they go on.